Hey y'all, it's Hunter Elliott with rangehot.com. I hope everybody is doing well. This afternoon we're beginning the review on a relatively new silencer from OSS Suppressors. This is the HX-QD 762. Now if you go to rangehot.com you can look back. It was a year or so ago that I reviewed the OSS EL 762, the Elite 762, which was a fine can, but it was user serviceable. OSS has now refined this with the HX-QD. Now that it is an all welded, non-user serviceable can, which is definitely a plus if you're looking to market this particular silencer to law enforcement, military, that sort of stuff, as well as the mounting system is improved. Also, OSS has introduced not only just your standard QD flash hider, but you can also opt for a brake, so you can pick which mounting system you prefer. It is full auto rated up to 762 by 51, 308 Winchester. It's good for 5.56 all the way up to 300 Win Mag. This is still utilizing the flow-through technology, and what I mean by that is, on a standard baffle type stack can, you're going to get an increase of approximately 30% in carrier speed. When you start getting that carrier speed or bolt carrier overspeed, then you run the risk of some malfunctions. With the flow-through technology that OSS has, you're going to experience about a 5% increase in carrier speed, which is going to be negligible. You're not going to have to try to experiment with gas port size and buffer tube weights to make it reliable, which is a huge plus. So, flow-through technology, what exactly does that mean? Well, instead of having the traditional baffles within this can, there's a 17.4 stainless steel deflector. And basically what that does is it deflects the gas to the outer edges of this can. Internally, there are grade 5 titanium coils that the gas is diverted into, which slows and cools the gas. The benefits of that is not only the bolt overspeed that we just talked about, but the can tends to run a lot cooler than your more traditional can. So, as always, bolt overspeed and heat can be the enemy of service life and reliability. The exterior of this can is made of 17.4 heat-treated stainless and is finished with C-Series high-temperature matte black Cerakote. So, in a nutshell, it's 7.2 inches long, weighs 19.6 ounces, and it's 1.6 inches in diameter. Hey y'all, it's Hunter Elliott, rangehot.com. This afternoon I'm with my friend Andrew Barnes Precision Machine. Right off the bat, what I did is we took this Helix 762, we put it on a Barnes Precision Machine 300 blackout pistol, 7.5 inch barrel. We took it out, shot some Remington and Corbin 220 grain subsonic through it, and got some numbers on the sound meter. Right to the ear, the can's running about 79 decibels, which is well within what I'm considering hearing safe. You agree with that?
Correct.
So my experience with the can is running on the Barnes Precision 300 black pistol and then the 16-inch Patrolman's carbine. But now Andrew has also run this silencer on several different of his rifles, so I wanted to kind of defer to him and his experience as well. So, all right, Andrew, tell me, what do you think?
We initially looked at this model when it was sent to us by OSS for our submission to the U.S. government ICSR Intermediate Combat Service Rifle solicitation. Companies were asked to submit a 7.62 by 51 NATO battle rifle in a carbine design or configuration, and it had to include a suppressor. There are challenges with full auto function on a 308 7.62 battle rifle to begin with, but obviously we wanted to test with a suppressor for proper function, proper gas port size, buffer weight, etc. So we were lucky enough to work with OSS, and they provided us some very, very early samples of that model, and we were successful at approving two different rifles in 7.62 by 5.1 and sending those rifles to Picatinny Arsenal for review for, again, the ICSR Intermediate Combat Service Rifle solicitation. There is some value in the design where there is less back pressure, which results in slower bolt speeds, or at least not bolt overspeed, which is known to cause issues, malfunctions, feed issues, extraction issues in full auto or semi-auto fire. As a rule of thumb, the shorter the gun, the more problematic traditionally it has been when used with a suppressor. So to have that advantage of flow-through technology, it does allow you a larger operating window and reliability of the weapon.
Okay, so in your opinion, especially on a battle rifle, something that you would, more than likely be betting your life on, you would prefer the flow-through technology like OSS is designed over a conventional baffle stack silencer?
Correct.
As far as the longevity of the silencer itself, baffle stack type can traditional silencer versus the OSS flow-through technology, which one is going to give you a longer, more reliable service life?
Well, I would think that lower pressure in the can is going to result in lower heat. I do think that they have proven in some laboratory tests at OSS relative to their DoD testing and what they've been going after relative to DoD business. They have proven that their designs can withstand, as an example, true full auto fire from belt-fed machine guns and what we would call sustained full auto fire, not intermittent,
right?
Like you would maybe see out of a battle rifle. For the ICSR test and what we had to meet as far as the standards for the ICSR solicitation was a 220 round battle pack test where you could have no malfunctions during the 220 rounds, and they had a prescribed 5-shot semi-auto, 5-shot burst, and then dump the magazine full auto burst for the entire 220 rounds.
Okay.
I think that again, the success of those tests were relative to, yes, the quality of weapon we built, but also has something to do with the flow-through design of the suppressor and the fact that we were not going to get as high a bolt speed or overspeed as we would with a traditional baffle stack that might even cause you to manipulate port size to a point where all of a sudden without the suppressor you have operational problems.
So you would have to, with a standard baffle type silencer, you may have to manipulate that port size
or buffer weight
or
various things, again,
to
relative
get it to
things that are, we haven't even discussed. Volume of can,
right.
which length, diameter, that's volume.
Sure.
Back to baffle stack design. What type of baffles are in that, specific volume of can?
Sure.
All these things are variables that can, definitely affect the end result, function, or non-function reliability of the host weapon.
Speaking of the host weapon, you've also run this Helix 762 QD can on your LR10 308 long range rifle. Now that is with, an average shooter with store-bought ammo, it's easily an MOA rifle. You agree with that?
I do agree.
When you installed the new OSS Helix 762 on the rifle, did you see any kind of degradation in reliability or accuracy out of the LR10?
No.
The new Helix, it's a welded can, which in my mind would be more conducive to offering to military and law enforcement.
Well, more and more, anything you can do to reduce or eliminate liability is a positive. So I think not that I'm, looking at this in a negative way at all from a performance standpoint, but there are things that drive the market and or designs of companies relative to that word that we, liability.
Right.
So I definitely think that anyone in the industry that has their sights focused, no pun intended, on that type of military or law enforcement work as a standard item, especially across the board, bought by multiple departments, or even to have the possibility of an NSN, is going to have to be very, very robust, very, very bulletproof, as they say. And come on, look at the history prior. None of those inventoried NSN stock number suppressors that we see are capable of being disassembled.
Okay, y'all, so I'm wrapping up the review on the OSS HX-QD 762 silencer. You can see what Andrew and I spoke about during our afternoon of running with the can. He and I spent a couple weekends together, adding his experience to what we're learning, and the can held up wonderful. We've got, in excess of 1,000 rounds downrange, a lot of it being 308, 300 black, and a lot of 5.56. 7.5 inch 5.56 SBR, Select Fire SBR 7.5 inch 5.56, and a 7.5 inch 5.56 BPM pistol. So that goes to tell you here that OSS is not putting a barrel length restriction on this particular silencer, which is great because it's really hard to find a good can that'll run on a shorty. We also ran it on a 7.5 inch and 11.5 inch 300 blackout, as well as a 16 inch 300 blackout. Shot the 300 blackout out at about 80 yards. Did not affect the accuracy on that. So we really were pretty thorough, in my opinion, as far as the review, checking accuracy and reliability on several different platforms, several different barrel lengths, and several different calibers. So yeah, I'm very pleased with the way OSS has done this. I like their new QD mounting system a whole lot better than what they had before. So to summarize, way to go OSS. The new can, in my opinion, is definitely an upgrade from what they had before, which was still a really nice can, the Elite Series EL762. So if you're in the market for a multiple caliber silencer, good from 5.56 all the way to 300 Win Mag, I would certainly check out the OSS HX-QD 762. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up before the rain comes in. I want you to take care of yourselves and each other. I look forward to seeing you at the range.